Anyway, as I was saying before the video cut out, is that a couple of the needs that I'm going to work on as well is the short vowel sounds. Because as we saw in like the pseudo word or like the nonsense word reading task, um, he he made about he had got an 84 out of 100, which is actually really high for him for like kindergarten. But I've noticed that most of the mistakes were the short vowel sounds, and especially particularly the e and the a, so like and a. So I'm gonna work with him on that because 9 of the errors came from those. Some of the things I'm gonna do at school, um, I'm gonna do a sorting game with word cards where it's either gonna like the card is either gonna have a word that has a short or a word with a short vowel sound, and the other cards that have long vowel sounds in the words. And the children are going to work together, and I'm going to be there as well just to help guide them and be able to excuse me, be able to sort the words between the short vowel sounds and the long vowel sounds. And something that you can do at home is I'm going to send a set of word cards home with Ed, and you can help him with those words because that would really help him to be able to practice similar things that he does at school, but he can see that he can also do those kinds of things at home. And can kind of just reinforce what we practice here. And then something else I want to work with him on is spacing between words. Because if we look at his writing samples, we can see that a lot of his words are all bunched together. And I mean, obviously you can still kind of pick them out. But he has a tendency to forget to put the spaces, and I kind of think it partially might be because he's left-handed, and so it's hard for him to be able to hold his finger there and be able to write over his finger. So something that I'm going to do is we're going to do an interactive writing or a shared writing where I'll sit down with him or with the whole class, and we'll do a writing practice where I'll write the words that they don't, so the children don't have the stress of having to write the whole words by themselves. But then I'll have Ed or another student come up and hold their finger up to do our finger spaces, as we call them. But for Ed, particularly because he's left-handed, I'm going to have him hold like a colorful popsicle stick or something that's really flat, so it's easy for him to be able to reach over it and write it. So that's something I will do at school. So basically I'll write the word and then he'll hold up the stick and then I'll keep writing like that. And that way he can see the model of me writing with spaces and things like that, and hopefully he'll pick up more on that sort of thing. And if he has a colorful stick, that'll be more interesting for him as well. Something you can do at home is also just practicing writing with him, because I mean, as a mom, you're one of the greatest models that Ed gets to see. And if he sees you writing with with spaces and writing letters and things like that, he's gonna want that more, and he's gonna see that it's something that you would do too. So a similar thing, you're just gonna, you can write a short story together, or even just a sentence here and there, and either he can write it and you can just remind him to do finger spaces, or you can write it. Actually, it'd probably be better if you wrote it and then have him see that you're putting like the popsicle stick down, so that he thinks, oh, I need to put the popsicle stick down when I write my sentences. And this just helps him to be able to create those spaces, and so that his writing's a little bit more legible. And as you can see, like Ed is doing really well with his writing and reading. Like most of his scores were really high, or above average for kindergarten. And we just have like little minor things, tweaks here and there that we need to work on, like the spaces, or for instance, like writing his D's the correct direction, but just little things that he needs to work on. Overall, he's staying ahead. He's doing really well with that. And I think that like by continuing to work on his strengths, we can maintain what he already has, but be able to build on that. But also by working with some of the like weaknesses that he has, we'll be able to just keep building on what he already knows and not lose what he already knows, but be able to keep going with that. And he's doing really well, and he's a joy to have in the class. He's always willing to listen and willing to help. So yeah, thank you for your time.